Even though this thing is not cheap, this starts at $60,600. This one specifically is $65,000. It is still one of the most economical ways of getting over 600 horsepower in a brand new car. This is the 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV, and it's the top trim SS version, which means that it has 2 electric motors giving it all-wheel drive capability. So it has a combined 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque under the wide open watts mode. Yeah, so GM is still totally leaning into the cheesy acronyms, not just with the Hummer EV, but with this one too. And under the WOW mode, you can go 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. If you think that's impressive, in pure physics terms, absolutely. But in EV terms, it's pretty much expected for a top trim performance-oriented version. The Hyundai Ioniq 5N also has 600 horsepower and can go 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And the Hummer EV can do it in about 3 seconds. But this one is about half the cost, making this, the base MSRP anyway, of $60,600, the most economical way of getting over 600 horsepower in a brand new car. And this has pretty good range too, of about 303 miles out of the 102 kilowatt hour battery. That's obviously on an optimal day, not on a winter's day. And just like other EVs, most of the weight is right below your feet. And since this has all-wheel drive capability, this thing rides like a rally car. I love how immediate everything is. The steering input and the feedback is good. The throttle response, there's no real engine there, so not really a throttle response, but it is immediate, especially in the WOW mode. And the brakes are pretty fantastic too, like the 6-piston calipers here. Those are giant brakes, and it makes sense because this is a pretty heavy car at 5,700 pounds. That's like full-size 4x4. And just like other top-end GM cars, this thing comes with the GM Super Cruise, so that's the level 2 ADAS or hands-free highway driving basically. You're gonna have to get on a highway to unlock this feature because it's limited to whatever roads that's in the GM database. But once you're there, that really automates a lot of the boring parts of driving, and it really just takes the stress out of it. The biggest change in this car though, other than the fact that the Blazer nameplate is now an EV, is that this no longer comes with Apple CarPlay, and that's the way it is with GM EVs going forward. Why are they dropping Apple CarPlay? Well, obviously it's got something to do with money and also data and who controls the data. And to be honest, as an end user, it doesn't really matter which platform you use because they're going to harvest your data no matter what. That's just the reality. But operationally, as a dedicated iPhone user, is this a big deal? Yes and no. There's only 3 apps that I use anyway. That's Google Maps, Apple Music, and Apple Podcast. All the other stuff I don't use anyway. So they have Google Maps built in here. And the nice thing about this is since this is an EV, whatever destination that you go to, it will show you all of the data regarding range and how much time it takes to get there, obviously, and how much charge will be left over once you get to the destination. Apple CarPlay currently does not support that at all. As for the music and the podcast apps, well, those are handled through Bluetooth, so while you don't have the nice interface, that just means that you have to interact with your phone, which isn't ideal or safe. There are other apps that can support that. You just have to kind of be flexible with your tech. So that's really the bottom line if you're a hardcore Apple user and are interested in a GM EV like this Blazer EV SS. You just have to learn to adopt other pieces of tech or just be flexible with it. But generally, tech-wise, this thing has it all, except for Apple CarPlay, of course. This has the large 17.7-inch infotainment display, and take a look at the bezels. They're fairly small. And then straight ahead, you have the 11-inch digital driver display. You have a heads-up display. You have this rear view mirror that turns into a digital rear view mirror. There's a 360-degree camera system so that parking is pretty easy, but it would be nice if they took this a step further and turned this into a dash cam, just like a Tesla. That would be a nice addition. There's a wireless charger here. You get pretty good Bose speakers. I do like the amount of physical controls on the steering wheel. There's also controls behind the spoke. The gear shifter is mounted on the steering column, so that opens this up a little bit more. And just like a lot of EVs in the industry now, there's no on or off button in this car. You just kind of put it in park, get out and lock the doors, and it'll turn off the car. But there is an option to turn it off if you want to. You just press that button and hit vehicle off. Up top, there's a big panoramic sunroof. The materials are pretty nice. This is not real leather, but it is ventilated and heated. And considering how sporty this car is, there's very little side bolstering on this thing, so that's kind of curious. You get some interesting patterns on the door cards and also on the dash here. And it still has the piano black, shiny surfaces that can easily scratch. I don't know why they don't shift away from those materials. As for the second row, it is nice and roomy with 38.9 inches of legroom. I like that there's some venting here in the center console, some USB ports, and also the outboard seats are heated. Headroom's pretty spacious at 36.7 inches. I'm 5'8", and I feel pretty comfortable in here. And as for the cargo space, you get 25.8 cubic feet behind the second row. Fold the second row down, and you get up to 59.8 cubic feet of space. And it's a pretty attractive car too. It's got a very wide stance to it. It's got LED headlights, the daytime running lights, and also the light bar. This one gets the SS badge, of course. And just like most EVs, the wheels are kind of pushed to the corners of the car, so very low overhang. This has 22-inch wheels. This has the 6-pot calipers up front. And since this is the top trim, you also get the two-tone paint scheme, the black roof, and this radiant red tint metallic. And if you look at the taillights, it looks fairly odd too because it is all white, but once the lights turn on, you get the red shade on there. Now, if you want to see my review of the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, click on this link right here. I want to thank you so much for watching all the way up to this point. My name is Hanson, and that has been the 2025 Chevy Blazer EV SS, and I'll see you in the next one.